Hello everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again. And this time we're going to talk about Westworld Season 3. The recent trailer dropped last week and it picks up the events shortly after Season 2. So if anybody doesn't know, obviously spoilers now, but at the end of Season 2, we had it where Dolores had kind of escaped the Westworld park. She had kind of inhabited the body of Charlotte Hale, I believe, who is played by Tessa Thompson, and she managed to escape the park. She created a kind of escape safe haven for other previous hosts. She created another version of Bernard, who she acknowledged was the main threat to her as she embarked on this quest to go on the outside world and take over humanity. But she doesn't kill Bernard, she leaves him alive, possibly hoping that he'll reconcile her in the future and help her on her quest to kind of take over humanity or destroy humanity, whatever Dolores decides to do. So that was the main sort of crux of Season 2. We also had, I think it was a jump forward in time, where we had William, the Man in Black character played by Ed Harris. He was in this kind of vegetable type of state, following the same kind of condition that happened to his father in Season 2. And his daughter Emily, I believe, or a host version of her, found him, and I think he's going to kind of be revived and brought forward. So that is a kind of abridged, short, quick version of what happened in Season 2. So we go on to this trailer, and this trailer looks epic, it looks spectacular. We get fantastic shots of what's kind of I think a neon Los Angeles setting, the futuristic world that we haven't really seen a lot of. We had, I think, one scene in Season 2. It was kind of backstory where Arnold was showing Dolores the outside world for the first time, I believe. But we have plenty of great sort of cinematic shots, lots of, you know, neon lights, that kind of Blade Runner aesthetic that I'm sure a lot of people are going to draw comparisons to. We have lots of spaceships flying through. We have kind of huge kind of robots. It's very much that futuristic anime kind of style, that Ghost in the Shell, you know, that kind of Cyber City away, if you know your anime. That kind of really sort of futuristic, pristine looking aesthetic. I believe they did take some shots on location in Singapore, you know, very appropriate to give that sort of futuristic look. And this trailer gives that inclination that we're going to see how Dolores discovers the real world, how she integrates. There's lots of scenes in her in kind of hotels and parties and in the street, and she's got this whole sort of really sort of serious, dangerous intent about her. Like, she really kind of wants to cause some sort of mayhem, cause some destruction. And I think we're going to get a lot more of a simple narrative here. We know that there's a character called Caleb, I believe, who's played by Aaron Paul, and I think he's a host who is treated in the outside world. So I think what we're going to get here is Dolores connecting with him, finding out how the hosts are treated in the outside world as opposed to the theme park, and she's going to try and connect with him and gain more information about the world and how she can infiltrate the various systems and begin her uprising. I'm pretty sure we'll find her connecting with the other hosts and begin this sort of revolution. So that's going to be a key relationship between her and Aaron Paul's character. We also see Maeve returning in a scene. I believe the actor is called Vincent Cassel, and again, he's probably some very high up government operative, and he's basically telling Mayel that he wants Dolores found. So we're going to get this great narrative of Mayel tracking Dolores down. Lots of promise there. There's shots where we see Dolores facing off against Maeve, and they were the two really strong female characters of these previous two seasons. So that's what I'm looking forward to, that face off between the two characters involved in there. We also see as well William coming back in some capacity. Maybe he's a host body now, and basically him stating that he's going to save the world as well. So again, he's going to contribute or join in to this quest to stop Dolores in the future as well. So that's going to be some interesting dynamics there. I have questioned the purpose or the point of bringing back these characters in a recurring role. For me, William's role was kind of done in season 1. He found the meaning of the maze, or whatever the purpose of that was, and then we saw him at the end outside the theme park. I didn't really see the point of him coming back in season 2. With Maeve, they tried to integrate this whole quest about her finding a daughter, but she is a host, so it's not actually a daughter. So I never felt the kind of meaningful journey that they were trying to present Maeve on there. But overall, this season gives a lot more sense of momentum, a lot more sense of purpose. I kind of felt season 2 was really spinning its wheels. It wasn't really going anywhere. You know, the whole point of this first season, or this concept of the show, if you like, was the machines gaining sentience, gaining consciousness, gaining that sense of free will, and then we were going to see the fallout of that and this intended uprising that we didn't really get throughout season 2 until the kind of very end. And even then, it didn't really feel like this really sense of these machines looking to break out and really take over. Like I said, season 2 really meandered a lot and was very ponderous throughout. It didn't really know where it was going. We had a good venture into this kind of samurai Japanese setting, but then we had another venture where we were focusing on, I think, this Apache warrior, and we had that whole episode that was speaking in his native tongue. I mean, I was drifting off in that episode. I just thought, you know, this is really frustrating to watch. This season isn't going anywhere. So hopefully this season 3, we're going to cut out a lot of the meandering and get straight to the point, which is much more simplified, kind of focused narrative on Dolores beginning the uprising and basically people joining together to stop her. I think if the show could stay on that line of thought, that kind of plot device, I think we're going to be in for a much more action-packed, a much more compelling and exciting show. It'll be interesting to see what Tessa Thompson's character Hale has involved. Again, is she another host? Again, season 2 really kind of was back and forth, and it was jumping forward, backward with these timelines. You really kind of lost its way halfway through. But it'd be interesting to see what her role in this. Again, is she going to be chasing Dolores as well? Is she going to be helping Dolores throughout? We don't really know on there as well. So I know there was a couple of scenes where we get Maeve in this kind of World War II theme of the park. So it'll be interesting to see what she does there. How does she break out of it? I think we'll see her in that theme park first before she comes out and then embarks on this quest to stop Dolores. Again, I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what we're going to get, that kind of narrative there. Now, I do know that this season only consists of 8 episodes, whereas seasons 1 and 2 were previously 10 episodes. And I've got a feeling part of that is because they've really upped the budget. You can tell, like I said, from all the cinematography, and look at the kind of spaceships and robots that we're having, and because we're going into the real world now, we're going a lot more away from the Wild West, and we're being a lot more expansive with the landscapes and the background. So as it is with television shows, the higher the budget, the lower the episode count. So I think the whole theme of this season is the new world. So we're really kind of expanding now and going out of the park, which I think is right. I think it gives the writers a lot more freedom, if you like, to explore a lot more avenues. I think, like I said, we're going to get a less sort of ponderous feel about this season and a lot more direct, forward-going momentum in this season 3. So who knows if this will be the final season. That's the kind of vibe I got, that this was kind of the epic conclusion. You know, this is the last stand, or this is the final stand made by the hosts, and this is the last kind of stands we've got to make against them to stop them from taking over the humans. It really did have that kind of final season feel about it. But who knows, if they get really well in the ratings, we may get a season 4, a season 5. This is kind of like now the main big cultural show that HBO's got, now that Game of Thrones has gone, obviously, and Watchmen, I don't believe, is getting renewed for a season 2. I think that was a one and done deal as far as I know. So it looks like they've really gone all out for this 3rd season, and we'll see how people react to it, critical reception and viewership ratings. If it does really well, they may come back for a 4th season. Who knows on there as well. So the only other dynamic, I guess, is Bernard's character. We see a couple of scenes where he's looking really detached and disorientated. How is he going to react being in the outside world? What other people is he going to make connection with? Is he going to eventually join Dolores? Is he going to eventually try and stop her and go against her? You know, is he going to work with other forces in this ongoing pursuit of Dolores? So it'll be very interesting to see. It's always great to see Jeffrey Wright back, brilliant actor. And, you know, most of the actors are great in this as well. But, you know, he was really kind of the, you know, MVP along with Anthony Hopkins, especially in that first season. That was such a key dynamic, you know. All of those scenes with Dr. Ford explaining the meaning of consciousness and free will, you know, that was the special element of season 1, if you like. But I don't know if we're going to get that as such in season 3, because like I said, this looks a lot more of a direct chase narrative, if you like. So those are my overall thoughts. The one thing I've got to mention, I hate to be that person, that elephant in the room, but I have got to mention the main actress who plays Dolores, Evelyn Rachel Wood, I believe her name is. And if you didn't know, there was huge controversy because, as we all know, the recent passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, and I think it was 7 other people involved in the helicopter crash. And shortly after that, Evelyn Rachel Wood, the actress, she took to Twitter and she basically stated that Kobe Bryant was a rapist. And this caused huge outrage, huge controversy. It's a talking point for me because I just think it's really lacking in class and dignity and empathy, you know, regardless of what you thought of Kobe Bryant. We do know there was an investigation way back, I think it was over 10, 12 years ago, and the case was dropped. The kind of person who was accused didn't, you know, she dropped the charges. So in many people's eye, that was it, done and dusted. You know, I'm not here to kind of defend Kobe, but I think shortly after his death, to make those tweets, I just think the real lack of class and poor timing. And I just wonder how is even going to address those comments when they do the promotion of the shows. I'm pretty sure the next Q&A she does, the next press conference she does, the next interview she does, somebody is going to bring up that issue and say, look, Ethan, what were you doing making those tweets about Kobe at that time when, you know, we're still very much in the grieving process? What was your thinking behind that? She's going to have to explain that, all right? She's going to have to explain that. And who knows, she'll maybe stand by her convictions. I've read just little excerpts and seen little footage that I think has gone through some sort of abuse or assault in the past. I don't know, maybe that's what triggered, maybe she knew the accused. I haven't read enough into it. All I can tell you is that making those comments at that time was just, you know, like I said, really distasteful, and she's going to have to explain those comments. Now, I'm pretty sure she's spoken with her agent and HBO, and they've gone through how she's going to reply and respond to those comments. I'm pretty sure she'll give sort of short, quick, concise answers, and she'll try and just say, I'm not going to really answer anymore, I stand by my comments, and that's that. And maybe enough time people will just move on from it. But it will be interesting to see if she does addresses those comments, because somebody, whether it's an experienced interviewer or whether it's someone from an audience, like I said, when she does promotion, is going to bring that up and she'll have to explain those comments. But that aside, that I understand that has no bearing on the quality of this season itself, on how good or bad it is. That's just a side issue that I think, just from my perspective, I think a lot of people's perspective, needed addressing. But going off on back to the season 3, as I said, debuts on March the 15th. Lots of promise, lots of really kind of excitement and visual flair and cinematography. Really engaging and compelling season I think we're going to be due for this year. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for season 3? Are you not? Did you like season 2 as opposed to season 1? Do you want to see more back, a return to that sort of closed environment where we're in a theme park, as opposed the impression that this season is given where we're going to be much more out and open? Did you prefer the kind of closed in kind of scenes where we're a lot more expositionary and we're concentrating a lot more on the philosophical side of things, as opposed to the intentions that this trailer's giving, where, like I said, it looks a much more of a pursuing, of a chasing of Dolores? But let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course I'll review the premiere episode when it debuts, and we'll continue the coverage from that. But that's my verdict on Westworld season 3 trailer so far. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you very soon. Take care for now.